People can choose to love one another. You or I, you, me, and Toni, we can choose to love one another as individuals. We're in a situation in our country right now where the love between groups of people, the kind of love that Dr. King talked about, that can dispel the darkness, is bruised and battered. How do we get to a state where people who identify as part of a culture or an age or a faith learn to love one another of another group? How do we build those bridges between ages and faiths and nationalities and become...
First class in economy.
Right, right. How do we ever get to that point where groups of people no longer see themselves as isolated and all as human beings? Is it possible for a people to learn to love another people? And if so, how do we nurture that?
In the Jewish Bible, right, it says, "Ve'ahavta re'echa kamocha." So what does that mean? Like loving, that's what you're sort of challenging or trying to get at. Like, how do you love your neighbor as yourself?
Sure.
Right?
Our previous imam used to say that, just make it a point, just knock at the door of your neighbor at least once a month. Just let them know that you're fine and you're inquiring if they're fine, So
it's important for the children also to see, that at the end of the day, this is what I believe. What is there actually except each other?
The core of it all is going to be love. It's going to be based on love, because in the scripture and what Paul is referring to is the kind of love that Jesus says, first love the Lord, and then liken to it, love your neighbor as yourself.
Love is everything. Love is the seed of happiness, and the love is the seed of peace. If we want to bring the love in our family, in our country, in this world, we have to know what is the love. It's important.
Love. Chantoganake, wisdom, is wo ksape. Wo ksape. You put the word wo in front of ksape, makes it a value and not just a behavior. Mm-hmm. It's a value, something we not idolize, but something we value.
In other words, even Jesus says, how can you love the Lord when you can't love the one whom you can see every day? Mm-hmm. So to claim that you love the Lord, but you hate your neighbor, that cannot be. Because there's no way that you can love God, somebody you have not seen before, and not love your neighbor, someone you're looking at each and every day.
The reason I ask that question is because part of what we're trying to do is find a way for human beings in America, no matter who they are, to find a way to reconnect. We've decided that way is through love. Mm-hmm. We need to find some avenue that we can at least understand one another's love, if not the ways that we love, the simple fact that we do.
Mm-hmm. We've taken in these messages of hate, of separateness, of even the sense of identity. So we might be trying to inculcate a positive sense of identity, mm-hmm. but it also creates a sense of difference.
Air questions. Sorry? Air questions.
So yeah, just I think getting to know people, asking questions and being curious, people respond to that, and that sparks love in anyone, I think.
I mean, get out and talk to strangers, right?
See each other and say, you're a person, you're not a stereotype, or you're not just this opinion, or there's just this thing you posted on Facebook. Just listen and know that they're all humans.
A lot of times, contact between people is the most important thing.
What can happen is our kids that are coming from what we call over the mountain mm-hmm. are finding themselves with kids that are from different religious backgrounds, different sexualities, definitely different socioeconomic, mm-hmm. Different ethnic backgrounds. And it's that kind of melting pot of experience that mm-hmm. I think is creating a different kind of conversation. So they're not just all in the same fishbowl with the same people all the time.
Right.
Now that's why the great movies are made, if you look at from historic time, from Shakespeare, the two clans that are fighting with each other, and still their boys and girls will fall in love. I mean, it happens. Why it happens? Because they just get to know each other.
One of the things that I really love that theater can do is create a dialogue in the room that places what's difficult to talk about in the third person. So we don't have to agree about whatever's going on stage, but we might start a conversation.
Communication is a foundation of every relationship. So once you communicate with somebody, you communicate back and forth, and everything about you, and you learn about each other. Once you communicate with somebody, you learn to understand them. Once you understand somebody, then you learn to trust them. Once you learn to trust them, then you allow yourself to love. You choose to want to love them.
It's called Eat, Drink, and Be Merry, and just love everybody, you know? And I've been through Katrina, so we learned to love each other. In New Orleans, we ain't have no other choice, you know. I don't care if you was white or black, you still went to school together. You still lived in the same neighborhood. You still worked together no matter what. So coming from New Orleans, it was totally different. You know, you didn't have a lot of separation.
The thing that I adore about New Orleans and that culture is that it is a stained glass culture. And there's multiple languages spoken on the street. There's multiple accents.
That diversity is going to be the strength, continuing strength in this country.
You know, different peoples have different perspectives that they live. Some may connect because of what they have in common.
When you start to think about what we came from, that we're all just a little bit of carbon and a little bit of stardust and a little bit of lightning, and that we're all part of that.
We all are kind of the same deep down inside, that we all have the same wants and needs, and we all want food and, you know, enough money to get by and a place to live and, you know, maybe some insurance. You know?
There's 12 values that anybody, any race, creed, color of people, background, all of you the same. And so I'm sure your family believes in love, humility, truth, bravery, strength, fortitude, courage, humility, compassion, and sacrifice.
And it's part of what make it compelling and unique. And instead of kind of, pun intended, whitewashing everything, this allows for there to be individualism without it being about individuals specifically, you know, without focusing on just what you get and what I get.
Just gotta have a good heart.
Yeah.
You know, it all comes from a good heart.
One thing that we really strive to do is find good people first. Not like, okay, we don't want the best person at accounting or the best person at cooking hot dogs. Like, we want a good person, and then we're gonna figure out where they fit in best. And I think that's one thing that from sports, like to use a sports analogy, you wanna put players in the positions where they can succeed.
It's not about being selfish. A lot of times, a lot of folks being about self. It's me. It's me, what I can do, what I can accomplish. It's about my family, and don't never worry about the next person. You know, that's where it all comes from. You know, care about the next person, and everything else should take its own place. You know.
It's not denying that all of this stuff is happening, but what we've forgotten is that love is also available. There's something else happening at the same time.
If we cling to our truths, then we're never going to get anywhere. We're always going to be in grievance with one another. We're always going to be in battle because I have my truth and you have your truth, and they do this. And I'm saying, you have your truth, I have my truth. Let me just sort of like put myself in your truth a little. I'm just going to dwell there, right? And maybe if I'm dwelling in your truth, you're going to say, you know what? Maybe I'll do that, right? And then we find the ability to listen through difference.
It's nothing small. It's huge societal shifts.
Nothing simple. Yeah.
Huge societal shifts in thinking, but that would be my dream. Yeah, there's nothing there's no like smart thing I can type on Facebook that's gonna fix this.
Today's toxic environment where people want to get on social media and attack and talk about their political view. You come here,
completely goes away.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not relevant at all for what we do, and I can sit with anybody and sing, and it's almost like, well, just shut up and let's sing. You know, like we don't need to know your life story, but we'll draw you in, and then after that happens, then you start building the friendships and things.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's almost like then it's too late, right? You know,
What do you think, as a country, we can take away with how people learn to work as a team in this situation?
Understanding yourself a little bit better and what your strengths are, then being able to understand, okay, how do you learn other people's strengths?
We have to realize that we're all in the same boat, and we can either work together to bail out the water, or we can all drown.
You only got one life to live, so you better get along.
Alrighty. What does it take to get along?
Again, harmony, peace, love.
I think there's an opening and an invitation for that we oftentimes miss. Because we think it's going to be too sappy. Who wants to sit around talking about love?
Exactly. Well, yeah, no, you're right.
You know, when I got to pay my bills, like I can't be talking about love and I need to, you know, pay my bills, or I can't be talking about love and I just got profiled by the police, you know, but I can be. It's just as available as all of the negativity. Right. You know.
I know it isn't popular to talk about it in some circles today, but I know that love is ultimately the only answer to mankind's problems. I'm not talking about emotional bosh when I talk about love. I'm talking about a strong, demanding love. And I have seen too much hate. And I say to myself that hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to love.
Love should be something that we express. Love should be something that we share. Love should be something that we become.
Oh my goodness.
That's perfect.
We don't need to preach that to people. We need to live that to people.
That's why I'm going to go with that one.
Do you get your answer?
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, and if you want some more love in your life, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Where's that going to be? Should I point at it?
It's on YouTube.